What is up, guys? Welcome to Brightmind. In this video, we're going to be continuing to talk about times and rates of changes, and specifically going to start talking about timetables. All right. So travel timetables are usually written in the 24-hour clock times. All right. So this is something we spoke about in the previous video. So anytime we write timetables, we normally write it in 24-hour clock times. Now, in a timetable, each column shows a different journey, right? Each row shows a different stop. All right, so let's see an example of what this would look like. Timetables are written in the same way whether they are buses, trains, or aeroplanes, right? So it's really important that you learn this stuff. It's like practical implementation, so that when you're traveling, you can actually see this departure times and understand how these timetables work. Okay, so what time does the bus leave the bus station? So first part of the question is, what time does the bus leave the bus station? Write the answer in the 12-hour clock format. So we know that it leaves the bus station at 14:10. Departure basically means the time it leaves, right? Arrival means the time you arrive, that you reach there, and departure means the times you leave, right? So at the bus station, you leave at 14:10. So we know that this is a PM value. If we just do 14 minus 12, we get 2. So the answer would actually be 2:10 p.m. Okay. How long is the journey from the town center to the harbor? So town center is here and harbor is here. So the harbor time is, I'm just going to write up here, the harbor time is 15:08 departure. So we leave at the harbor from 15:08, and then we actually leave the museum, the town center, sorry, we leave the town center at 14:26. all right, so what we do is we have to again take an hour from here, so 14, and then we have to add a 60 over there. So what we could do is we could rewrite it as 14:68 minus 14:26, right? So we know that it's only minutes, so 8 minus 6 is 2, 6 minus 2 is 4, so it actually only takes 42 minutes to get from town center to harbor, right? Now we have to use the departure time of harbor because that is what's going to tell us the distance of the journey. All right, so it's actually 42 minutes. Okay, now Masha gets to the museum bus stop at 14:10, right, which is 2:10 p.m. How long will she have to wait for the bus? All right, so if she gets the museum bus stop at 14:20, right, how long will she have to wait for the bus? So we know that at the museum the bus departs, it leaves at 14:33, right? So to have some space here, okay, I do. So the bus departs at 14:33, and she gets to the museum bus stop at 14:20. So they want to know how long will she have to wait. So we have to just find the difference, right, between the departure time and the time she arrives, so that we can see how long she'll have to wait. This cancels to 0. 33 minus 20 is 13. Okay, so she has to wait for 13 minutes before the bus leaves. Okay, great. So now the next bus leaves the bus station 35 minutes later than the next time shown on the timetable, right? What time is that? So they are saying that the next bus station, which is some bus station over here, some extra one over here, it leaves the bus station 35 minutes, right? 35 minutes later than the time shown on the timetable. Okay, so the next bus leaves the bus station 35 minutes later than the time shown on the timetable. So what time is that? All right, so I think what they're saying is that the next bus leaves the bus station, so we have to actually look at this time, right? Leaves the bus station 35 minutes later than the time shown on the timetable. All right, so I think this is an incorrect thinking over there. They only want to know, they're only saying that the departure times, the bus leaves only 35 minutes later than the time that is shown over there. So what we have to do is, if we want to find the times later, right, later means after, right? So what we do is we do 14:10 plus 35. We have to add 35, right, because 35 minutes, 0 hours, so that's the same as 45 minutes. So 14:45 would actually be the time that the next bus departs. So 14:45 from the bus station, hours. So anytime you give the answer in 24-hour format, just add hours there at the end. All right, great. Now moving on, Here's worked example number 2. This timetable shows flights in New Zealand from Christchurch to Auckland. Some flights stop in Wellington. All right. So we have the departure from Christchurch, and then Wellington arrival is at this time, and then Wellington departure is at this time, and then they directly arrive at Auckland. Some of the flights arrive directly at Auckland while some pass through Wellington, right? Okay, so write the arrival and departure times of the 1335 using the 12-hour clock times. So 1335, I think this is what they're talking about. They want us to show the arrival and departure times. So the departure time is 1335, right? And because it's after 12, right? In the 24-hour format, it's greater than 12. We just do 1335 minus 12, and we have 1:35 p.m. And this is the departure. And then the arrival is basically 14:55, which is the same as writing 14 minus 12, 2:55 p.m. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to write the answers over here neatly, right? So we have the arrival time. The arrival time is actually 2:55 p.m. and the departure time is actually 1:35 p.m. Okay, great. How long does the flight take on the 8:40 take, right? So how long does the flight on the 8:40 take? So how long does this flight take to leave from Christchurch and arrive at Auckland? So what we have to do is we have to find the difference, right, between 10 and 8:40. Okay, so what we do is we're just going to do the calculation here. For B, we have to do the difference between 10 minus, because anytime there's how long, right, we're basically just finding a difference, right? So 10 minus 840, okay, 10 minus 840. If we cancel this to 9, because 0 is smaller than 40, we have to cancel it to 9 hours, and then we're adding 60 minutes. So I'm just going to rewrite that to 60, okay? 60 minus 40 is 20, 9 minus 8 is 1. So actually, it takes 1 hour, 20 minutes to leave Christchurch and arrive at Auckland, okay? So A is done, B is done. How long does the journey on the 1845 take? So how long does the journey on the 1845 take to get to Auckland, right? So over here the question hasn't specified whether we should calculate the departure for Wellington or Auckland, right? But we know that over here the question specifically said that the timetable shows flights in New Zealand from Christchurch to Auckland, and some flights stop in Wellington. So what we care about is reaching Wellington. So in this, don't get confused. You have to just subtract the Auckland time and the Christchurch time. All right, so 21, right? So we're going to do 21 hours minus 18 hours 45 minutes. And then we're going to follow the same logic. Cancel this to 20 hours. We borrow 60 minutes. Change that to 60. 60 minus 45 is 15. And then 21 minus 8, 20 minus 8 is 2. So actually it's going to take 2 hours and 15 minutes. All right. D. So C is done. D. Melissa takes 10:30 from Christchurch. She takes the 10:30 from Christchurch. How long does she have to wait in Wellington? All right. So we can see that she leaves at 10:30 from Christchurch. She arrives at Wellington at 11:15, and then she leaves from Wellington at 1300 hours, and then she reaches Auckland at 1400 hours. So the question is asking how long did she have to wait in Wellington? So the waiting time is between here and here, right? So she's waiting for this amount of time before she left Wellington, okay? So what we do is I'm going to write D up here. We have to do 1300 hours minus 11:15 hours. So again, we cancel this to 12. We borrow 60 minutes. Just rewrite that to 60. 60 minus 15 is how much, guys? Can I say 45, right? Oops. So it's 45. And then we have 12 over there, right? That's 12. 12 minus 11 is 1. Okay, so actually she waits for approximately 1 hour and 45 minutes. So she has to just sit at the Wellington airport and just wait until the flight departs to Auckland. Okay, so guys, that has brought us to the end of this video. I hope it made sense. If something didn't make sense, definitely feel free to ask a doubt. I'll see you guys in the next one.